Across the Park podcast is proud to be sponsored by Globe Gas and Heating. For the best kitchen and bathroom renovations, boiler servicing and repair, and central and underfloor heating in the Northwest, head over to globecentralheating.com and quote Across the Park for a free quote. Hello, welcome back to Across the Park podcast, and it's the return of the away fan preview. We haven't done a couple of the last few games, but we're back, and I'm delighted to have my friends on who got me in a little bit of trouble this time last year when we were talking about points deductions and United coming to town. It's the one and only Mr. Tony O'Neill from the fantastic Webby ONeill fan channel. So, first of all, thank you for coming back on. How have you been?
I've been fine, thanks. Sorry for causing you trouble, but hey, it seems to follow me wherever I go.
It was an interesting conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All the information wasn't out there, and we were both sort of speculating on what was happening. Everton were right or wrong, but it's all in the rearview mirror. Tony, anyone like me who's an 80s or 90s kid, always look for United. One of the first games I look for, going down to 62 to United, or you coming down to Goodison. Is it the same for you? Everton still feel a big game for United?
Everton, I always look forward to it, and many Manchester United fans who I talk to always look forward to it because of like the fans' rivalry, and we know that there's going to be a game. Everton always seem to turn that not one little bit notch up higher when they play United. I mean, I've seen times here at Old Trafford and at Goodison where the two teams go right at it, and that's what the fans demand when we play each other, and that's how it's always been. The occasional game has not gone the right way, but you always get something in the game, and that's what gives it its rivalry between the Evertonians and the Mancunians.
Yeah, look. Growing up, there's been some great games. I think we've won some and you've won some, but I always seem to think back to maybe the 90s and the early 2000s that both teams really fought each other, and there was always a difference in quality. United were always a level head, but Everton used to enjoy trying to give us a kick, and then you had players who'd give us a kick back, and it always great games. But let's focus on where we are now. Starting with you, what we try and do, as you know, is you try and get the fans' perspective on where you are, so our fans can understand. And this season, I'm not used to seeing Manchester United in the bottom half. I wasn't used to seeing you finish 8th last season. However, there was a big day at Wembley in May where you beat the rivals, Man City. I imagine that was a great day for you, but it sort of, from the outside, it gave Erik ten Hag a stay of execution, if you will. There was a little bit of indecision in the summer, and then the decision comes in November. Just talk to us about that, if you don't mind, your opinion on the indecision. Should he have gone in the summer or...
Well, listen, it could have gone way before that. There's many a game there where United have played poorly, unfortunately, under Erik ten Hag, say the last 12 months, maybe even longer. You've just had moments in games. You've not had a run of games where you go, yeah, it's working. It was always stop, start. And like I say, after the cup final, really, that's when that was the indecision. By the people what are in charge now, which is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, and all that. They should have made that decision, and they were worried about the public backlash after winning the cup final, and that really isn't a good look. It's when you look back at it, that's not the type of ownership and the type of running you want, because since I think just before Ferguson actually left United, there's been a virus in this club. I go on about it all the time, and it's been carnage and chaos. There's been no direction, no leadership, no nothing. And you listen to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's talking about direction. We know what we're doing and all that. And then there we come to the Erik ten Hag decision. And like I say, it was indecision, and that's the problem. That's the problem at United. No one seems to have like the foot on the pedal, and away we go. It's stop, start. Now, the decision's been made, the change has been made, and it's now only over time changes will come. That's, as a United fan, that's what we're hoping for.
What's been the mood in the general mood of the fan base? I know you can't speak for every fan, but I know you've got a channel and you've got a sound understanding of what most fans do do you feel? I look from the outside and I see a win, a draw, a loss, a win, a draw, a loss. No real consistency in the results at all. Has it been a frustrating time to be going the game as a United fan?
It's been frustrating for a long time. This is
Mm,
Manchester United, and
mm,
obviously, I'm going to upset your Evertonians here now. This is the biggest club in the world, and it's not where we should be. But the thing is, the people what have been in charge for a long time have just looked after themselves, and they've not looked after Manchester United Football Club. It's a global empire. And it's just not been run right. And looking at it, the indecision, everything about it, you hope as a United fan. I do talk to a lot of United fans on a match day. I'm here, and I just live and breathe United, so I'm always talking to United fans,
yeah,
and they just hope that we're on the right foot now. But it's going to be tough. There's no jumping about with we've got Ruben Amorim now and all that, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I actually look at Everton and I look at Manchester United, especially the situation we're in now. We've been poorly run, just like Everton have.
yeah,
The players, the quality haven't been good enough. The purchases of the players for Everton and Manchester United over several years now has been absolutely dire. Your Everton players, you paid big money for players who are just not good enough.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
that just mirrors what Manchester United are. So the two clubs at this moment in time, and for quite a while, have mirrored each other in how they run, the players, the wastage of money by both clubs has been horrendous. So I think we're both in the same mold as a football club, but United, I think, at this moment, because we've changed the manager, there's more optimism. And a lot of United fans are hoping, and that's what we've got. It's just hope that it's now time to turn it round. I think from an Evertonian's point of view, looking at it as a Mancunian, I think that hope is there. I think there's an
mm,
acceptance. Nothing's going to change yet. You've got a new ground, and you've got to change the manager. You've got to change the style of play. You've got to change your players. How long that will take, that might drag on for a while. From
yeah,
Manchester United's point of view, we're hoping for a quicker turnaround. But the two clubs are actually in the same position and have been in the same position. I mean, United finishing 8th last year was absolutely horrendous. Now,
unbelievable.
yeah, quite a few years ago, Everton there, like 8th. Well, is that a good position? We really wanted to be higher. Well,
Yeah,
you've gone further down, and that's not me having a
it's
go at
true.
Everton.
It's true. Yeah,
It's just the way it is. You've just been fighting relegation because of the situation you're in. Mismanagement. It's been profound right the way through your club, and it's no different here at Manchester United. So I think, from a fan's perspective, right, we're all on the same page here.
yeah.
What's going on in football? What's going on with these people who think they can just come in with their billions and think they can run a football club and take it away from the grassroots football fan?
Where are United, Tony, with the PSR? Because there was, I mean, I know more than most fans. My football club was punished twice last season for failure to keep in line. There was rumours that United were treading close to the water. Is that still the case? Have you got to be quite careful with what you spend?
Well, I think this is what got me in trouble with your Evertonians last time I spoke, as though I was a spokesperson and knowledgeable about it. I'm not knowledgeable about it. I only see bits and whatever, and
Yeah,
I get my opinion from that. I, I, I honestly, and I think the layman, the football fan, hasn't got a clue what's
mm,
going on. I think we've spent up, but then suddenly we're allowed to spend a little bit more because of a rule change, or
yeah,
been given some dispensation that we're allowed to spend a little bit more than say Everton and all that.
mm,
And you was in uproar about it last year,
yeah,
quite rightly so. It's just the way football's run. I haven't got a clue, and I don't think the ordinary United fan or the ordinary Everton fan fully understands what's going on, because I don't believe the Premier League understand. The rules keep changing every 3 months by the looks of it. So it's a bit chaos. So I don't really know what's going on.
but they've been called out a few times. The Premier League. I think the bit of egg on face. But
Yes.
I don't understand how a club can walk around with 115 charges, fill its trophy cabinet, while Nottingham Forest and Everton are almost relegated for overspending when Nottingham Forest and Everton aren't doing much in the league. Anyway, it's silly. 115 charges brings me on to. I'm sure you're enjoying this a bit more than I am. City's downfall at the minute. Must be a good time to be in Manchester for a red.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't gloat over it, and many people who I talk to aren't gloating over it. They just know that 115 charges. If any ordinary person was given 115 charges, no matter what, whether it was in a criminal court or anything like that, you know you're going to get found guilty of something,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? You're going to get found guilty. So that's the laughing part of it.
Yeah.
So it's good that we know they're going to get guilty. They're not going to get out of it, but it's what's the punishment. But it's the farce. I did say at the start of the season on our members channel that I fancied City, as the season got on, would get worse and worse because of the pressure what's building up. I mean, you've just seen Guardiola sign a new contract. In my opinion, that's bullshit. That's just to try and stop the noise and try and get these players focused and not worry about the manager leaving. And then they'll be thinking, oh, we're leaving. They're trying to just stem the avalanche of just basically carnage and chaos what's coming. And I did say at the beginning of the year, I never expected City to win the league. I put them down for winning third. But these charges, each week, each month, what goes on, the pressure at City will go absolutely higher, right up there. And you've seen it with Pep Guardiola the other day. The worst nonsensical interview I've ever seen from a manager after a game. Absolute nuts. And that's the pressure of these 115 charges. And they are going to get found guilty of something. And at the end of the day, everyone calls them cheats. And that's what it is. Facts.
Yeah, and the worst. I agree with what you're saying, but the worst thing about it is, look who's got the juggernaut up the backside now, and neither of us are going to enjoy that at the end of the season. But let's concentrate on back on you. Ruben Amorim's in a win last night at Old Trafford. It wasn't a win at Portman Road, but there was a sort of a change of style of football. I think I watched that game, and even the pundits picked up on it. Ruben Amorim coming in, is that give the majority of fans a boost?
Yeah, because the football had to change.
Yeah.
The type of manager is the thing what's most important. You know, you look at the managers we've had, they've all supposed to have fantastic CVs and their age of them. Oh, I've been in the Premier League for years. This will succeed. You know, Mourinho, Van Gaal, your own ex-manager, Moyes. You know, these people, yeah, they're going to succeed. They know what they're doing. And at the end of the day, this football club is too big. It's too big for him. So I just think this manager, with his age, relates to the players. Kieran? So, Ian, can you hear me?
I can still hear Tony. Yeah, don't worry. I can edit
Oh,
this out.
right,
Don't
right,
worry.
right.
Yeah,
It's just saying my battery's running out. No, I think this manager, with his age and everything, actually relates to the players and will get them going and everything. So making changes, making them play in different positions and all that. He understands the mentality of the young players, and he's brought all his coaches with him. And that's what Man United need. They don't just need a manager to come in here and try and act as though I'm trying to copy what Ferguson done. I rule this football club. I've got a rod of iron. This is what you all do. No, Ruben Amorim, he will have certain things to do, and other things will be left to other people within the club, because it's far too big for one person to take on. So it's the right direction, the right style of football, and a change of football, which what I've looked at for the two games, the players seem to enjoy it and they want to be out there. I mean, the two sides there, you'll never see them two sides start again. And you might do the same on Sunday against Everton, where we see a starting 11, because what it is, it's experimental now. But United fans are accepting that. They understand there's got to be big changes. And if we get wins, if we get improvement and we get further up the league, fine, that's great. But if it doesn't, it'll be carnage and chaos. We accept what's coming now because this is the right type of manager at last to try and work out how to take this club forward. That's how we look at it.
Last question on you, Tony, before I ask for your opinion on Everton, and it's still on the manager and the fan base. Now, at my club now, there's a lot of frustration. and we've not gone from being champions to being bottom half or mid-table in such a short time. I know from speaking to you, there's been a lot of frustration in how United have been managed and the lack of league titles and the European Cups. Is there enough patience left in your fan base to back a manager who probably needs time?
He's got to have time. We've got to begin. We can't do rinse and repeat. You know, you talk about titles and everything. I was brought up like going to the game, like lots of football fans. Look, just put the effort in. We've not seen the effort. Right, if we get a trophy, that's fine. But what's happened through Ferguson and all the dominance, right? It's now expected here by this fan base that we need to challenge. We need to be winning the league. We need to be in the Champions League and trying to win that. So it's expected. Some people aren't like that, but the majority now, what I see and all that, they get very, very irate when things aren't going well, and things haven't gone well for a while. They need to be back challenging because that's what's expected of Manchester United. So trophies, will it come under Ruben Amorim? I think he will take this club and this team on the right direction to challenge. And I think that starts next year, to be honest with you. And then we have to see where we go, because chopping and changing managers ain't going to get us challenging back to where this club, its stature right round the world, should be. I'm not frustrated with it because I understand football. You go through changes and everything, and there's been a virus in this club, and it's still there in certain ways, and that has to be removed. Until that's removed, hopefully Ruben Amorim gets down to earth and removes the virus. We won't be really serious contenders, and it will take another couple of years. I go back to a conversation, a statement from our chief executive. He turned around Omar Barada and he said, I expect to be challenging in 2028. Now, that's the man what came from City, a well-run football club. There's no two ways about it. I don't like saying it, but that was excellently run. So he's come to United. He's opened the door. He's looked round, and it's just a complete mess. He sees the challenge what's ahead as a chief executive. So why shouldn't we also see that the person who's running the club, the chief executive, knows it's dire? So if it's dire, we ain't getting anything until he turns around and sees the change and makes the changes.
No, that's fair enough. I think it's good. It's been interesting as an outsider to watch Man United the past few years. I think it's going to continue to be interesting.
What you mean is laughable. So let's
I've got no great hate for United, to be honest.
I didn't say hate, but it's laughable.
It can be. I think our lovable neighbours enjoy it more, and we don't tend to like to agree with them too much. So it's of no great interest to me. I mean,
no.
You've saved enough of my summers when I was a kid by stopping them winning league titles. So I'm not laughing too much. But I think it's also interesting for everyone to watch Everton and what's happening at Everton. There's been lots of chaos at Everton, lots and lots of chaos. And this now, you're the beginning of our run that I've really, really feared. Our next few games, we've got United away, Liverpool at home, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Man City away. And,
wow! I didn't see that. That is one tough run you've got.
Unbelievable, and the fact that he's not winning the games. So leading up to this run, past 4 or 5 games, we've been saying you've got to get 3 points in one of these. You've got to get 3 points. The likes of Fulham at home, West Ham away, Southampton away, not winning those games.
10-man Brentford.
10 men Brentford. It's bad. It's ugly. What's your opinion? You're watching it without the blue heart. You're watching it with probably a football head. How are you seeing Everton this season?
Well, it's the same as United. It's not just this season. It's the goals. You've no goals. Calvert-Lewin. Do you really think, when you look back, his injury and everything, you've not had a goal scorer. You've not been putting the ball in the net, and you've not been getting them vital wins. Yes, you've had moments, just the same as Manchester United. But I just look at Everton, and it's a struggle for them. There doesn't seem to be an outstanding player on there. It's like we know what we're doing when we go out there. We're a unit, and what we must do is fight. To me, You're not going out there to create football, attacking football and all that. It's like a siege mentality. Right, we must fight because you've been fighting that long, right, to avoid relegation or get further up the league, right? That's what it's become. I don't think you can afford to have any creative players in there because you need to start picking up the 3 points, and that's what's holding you back. The pressure, what's built by not scoring goals and picking up points, and I think you've got it really tough. And then next 5 fixtures, come Christmas, come January, my God, you might be in a terrible position.
Well, teams around us are picking wins up.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah,
West Ham winning one on Monday at Newcastle. I didn't see them winning the game. That could give them a boost. We just seem look. It's ugly football. What we play, it's football
yes,
it's designed to get you 14th and keep you just where it is, and then you build on that. I think a lot of fans are now. I've mentioned the word impatient with your set of supporters. I think a lot of our fans now are just fed up with the football. Going to Goodison. Goodison's last season, Tony, you know how special that place is. We want to
yeah.
be celebrating it, and we're now leaving games frustrated. I've said on our show this week, we've done a podcast this week, I don't think the manager survives this run. The new owners are about to come in. I think they press reset. Again, an outsider. Is that a big risk if that happens? Do Everton need to stick with Sean Dyche and ride it out, or could you see Everton twisting?
No. Listen, soon as the owner comes in, right, everything changes for Everton Football Club over time. But the first thing you do is you remove the manager. And to be honest with you, when you look at United, that's what the new owner should do. When you look throughout football, that tends to happen. They've got their own ideas, their own plans, their own business plan and everything. So everything changes. That means your team, but first thing, manager, coaches, everything. You have to be revitalised. I go back to what you just said about Everton fans sort of being accepting what's going on, and there's no like anger or anything like that. And what it is, all the anger's out there. Okay, you've had your demonstrations, you've had your screaming, your shouting, and all that. And what it is, it's an acceptance now of what Everton Football Club is. There's no expectations left. And the only expectations can only come when the new owners come in and clear everything out. But that will take time. I think Evertonians are understanding now what is the point of ranting and raving. What is the point of running around the streets, demonstrating and doing this and doing that? There is no point whatsoever. So the real football fan out there as an Evertonian understands now. We've tried our best as fans. We've been out there. We've been vocal. We've demonstrated. The players are what they are. They're just like a team out there of fighters. That's all they're capable of. The manager's not capable of turning it around. He's got no chance whatsoever. I like the manager. I like Sean Dyche, but the realization amongst fans here at Goodison now is simple. There is no point moaning, shouting and bawling. It's all been done. Let's wait, let's hope, let's fight, and let's stay in this league and let the new owners come in and turn it round. And you've just got to sit there, bear it. And I think most Evertonians are doing that now. I think the realisation of shouting and bawling, waste of time.
Yeah, look, we've got an interim board who haven't got the power to do anything about it. So again, we do realise.
So there's no change there, is there?
No. The saying mid-December for the Friedkin group, who've apparently passed 2 of 3. The approvals, the ownership have got to be vetted by. They're apparently imminent. And it just feels to me like Evertonians, like I'm going to speak for myself and some of my friends, we've waited so long to be able to press reset. And it's been so long to watch this football club just be so disappointing. My little lad, he's 6, Tony, and he's not seen anything but chaos. He thinks Everton are just a team who are just, in chaos all the time. So I really hope, for my kid's sake and the whole fan base, I think Everton deserve, and I think United as well. Another great set of fans.
Well,
you don't deserve to be.
No, but I've got my grandson, and he hasn't got a clue what's going on here. He doesn't understand it because when he was younger, before I took him to the game when he was 9, 10, right, it was all United, the history and all, and then look, I took him to Everton 4-0. Do you know what I mean? First time I took him to Everton, it was 4-0 on the front row. It was absolutely one of the worst Man United away games. And at half time, he wanted to leave. So we've got youngsters here going through it the same as your youngsters and all that. And what they actually do, the youngsters, they look at you and go, "You've just been telling me lies that it's great that we go there and it's enjoyable, everyone has a good time and it's great football." It's like, I ain't listening to you, and they'll just go and play on the computer. So there is a problem with youngsters. We might sort of lose. I don't really see that at United. It's bigger, but as an adult, as someone who supports a football club like you and I do, you know, you've got to keep taking these kids to the games and explain to them, look, it'll change, don't worry, your dad's not a liar, you know, and things like that.
So I get dad guilt. I'm not lying. I get dad guilt.
I get it. I get it. It's like, oh God. Sometimes I've been on the train, go to London and other places, taking my grandson, because I take him to the away games, because that you get more of a feeling of what Manchester United and the fan base is. You know what I mean? And I take him places, and sometimes I just think to myself, you know, coming home, and it's like, I'm not coming again. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard work. But I just say to him, trying to explain to a kid, this is part of being a football fan, going to the game, spending all day getting there, coming back and mixing with people. This is the part to enjoy. And he looks at me and thinks, God, why don't you just shut up? But hey, you know, he'll get there one day, just like Everton will get there one day, where they want to spend all day out, whereas at the moment they just want to get there and get home straight. But hey,
I know, that's it. I hope you're right. Look, how's Sunday going to go? You're looking at it. It's a home game against a team who were struggling. I imagine a lot of your fans are thinking it's a really good game for you to have. Are you feeling that?
What I feel is like, with the manager and the way they set up, obviously who's going to play, I haven't got a clue. I don't think Ruben Amorim's got a clue, right? But the way the team is set up and the way he's thinking, what's got to happen, every player has got to be involved in scoring goals, whereas it's not just down to the striker. Everyone has got a responsibility. I seen last night there was more chances created. I didn't see that at Everton, but it's going to take time. So I think there's always going to be lots of opportunities against Everton on Sunday where we will put the ball in the penalty box and get it converted. But that's been our problem, converted the amount of chances. But I think we might overcome Everton, because I think United will just keep going at Everton. And I think Everton will sort of play a more defensive role, trying to catch United out. And believe you me, they will catch United out, because this is an experimental game of football, what's going on at the moment at Manchester United.
Well, that was my next question. I know it's probably a hard question for you to answer, because you don't really know yet how he's going to set up on a regular basis against teams like Everton and what players are coming in. But give our blue audience a little bit of hope. Can you be got on Sunday? Because we will come with a defensive shape. We'll play for set pieces, dark arts, low possession. How do we get it United to make it a game?
Yeah, listen, everyone's got a chance against Manchester United, especially at this moment in time, because they will be vulnerable. But I will say this, what I've noticed and what everyone is talking about is, with this coach and with these players, they actually change the system while they're playing. So they're prepared for when you think you're going to try and take United on and cut through them. We've been easily cut through for a long time now, but Ruben Amorim seems to be able to get it where the players, instead of, we've now changed to a back three with two wing backs, but during the game, he actually changes it when it's necessary. So I think you'll find it tougher than you actually think. If we was playing last year, okay, yes, you can cut through us. That will happen. But I don't think, and I look at our back four, and I also look at Onana, they're all in sync with each other. They are all working together, and that's where you start off creating a football side. And I think this year there's an understanding at the back how they work together, and they have improved. So that's what I like, and I think that might shock you how resilient they are in game, how to change, and how defensive minded they are. I think you will struggle to get through United.
Just give me no fucking hope at all there, Tony. I was hoping for a little bit.
Listen, listen. That's not me being bad. That's how I see it. But I know Everton will have opportunities. Like all teams will have opportunities. But from an Evertonian's point of view, I think they might have to look at this and sort of say, we're in for a bit of a fight here, because United will keep coming at you. The system says it's coming at you. And these players are galvanised. That's the problem. These players are galvanised now. They're there to impress, not just the fans. They're there to impress the manager. They want to be here long term. And we've got some good young players who, when they get knocked over, like you said, there will be dark arts. They just bounce back up. They're there to impress everybody. And that's what you're up against. There is a fight in this team now. Okay. You can see it. And last night, you can see that the manager is on the sideline, something we've not seen. And he's drilling it into these players. They know what they've got to do, and there's no letting up. And that's what you're up against.
I'll go first with my prediction, Tony, if you don't mind. I do think Everton have got goals in them from set pieces. We will try and win. We will try and win set pieces. I also see goals in your team, so I'm going to go with a score draw of 2-2. What would your prediction be?
2-2. I'm actually going to go 3-1, and I do agree with you with the free kicks and set pieces and all that. That's Everton. That's how they work the game, and United will have to be right on the toes when it comes to set pieces, because other teams have used that to their advantage, and United have not been organised enough to deal with it. So set pieces is a great way to target United. I don't think you'll be running right through the middle, but for me, I think 3-1, possibly. I was thinking 2-1, but I think 3-1 is what Man United will be.
Okay, fair enough, Tony. It's always a pleasure to get you on.
Yes, always.
I could talk football with you for hours, and I keep saying this. When I do manage to get a ticket for the away end at Old Trafford, I'll have to meet you for a pint and we'll do a show or something.
Yeah, you'll be here all day. Don't you worry about that. Listen, I know I've upset Evertonians in before, but what it is, I know they're football fans. Okay, they're there. They understand it. They're generational, from one generation to another. That's how Everton is, and I and people around me are the same way. So we actually think and talk football the same way. We might not always agree, but I do understand the situation Everton are in. And I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. United have mirrored it the same as Everton. So we've all had our difficulties, but now the time is it's an acceptance for Evertonians of where you are. And it's now just sit, wait, and wait for the change and hope for the best, because that's exactly what I've been doing. And I've hoped, and now I think this is the start of a journey, but it will take a few years.
I hope you're right, so I really do. Hope you're right. I think
come on, Everton. Come on, you can do it. Don't worry about it. I'm with you all the way. Cup final. That's what you want.
But only go and lose it, Tony. Honestly,
oh, stop it now. It's not that bad. I don't want you. What's the name? It's sulking all weekend. Look forward to it, and whatever happens, and that's the way it is at the moment for us both. To be honest with you, because if United did lose, it wouldn't be a shock, because everything's changing here. It's an experiment here at United.
Yeah, look, you're a massive, massive fan channel. Never mind the club. Your channel is unbelievable. I had a little look last night at some of your recent content. You done a reaction last night to the game. You've got a Giggsy interview, a Scholesy interview. You've got documentaries. You've got your regular shows. Anyone who's just discovering you now, because we've put the Man United hashtag, so this could be someone's first time in seeing who you are, and they're looking to go to a YouTube channel and subscribe. What can they find? What have you got coming up, and what's there in the archives for them?
These all interviews with Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, different things like that, talking about ex-footballers, your legends and everything. We don't get like access to them like we used to, because COVID's gone and all that, and they're all busy people. We do see them. I just did an interview with one of the largest Man United, well, I think one of the largest football content creators ever, which is Mark Goldbridge, and he actually sends the fan base all different ways, and he does things what people like, people what don't like, but he is a controversial figure. I get on with him personally, always have done. So, that was good and it was well received, something completely different. Now, when, like today, Ian, I speaking with you, and I always will speak with you because to me you're just a football fan, but you understand the game and everything, and we both get on well. Other fan channels and that they don't really come to us. Why they don't come to us, I don't know. We're just football fans, and we talk about football fans. We're not clickbait or anything like that. We do understand what it's all about. We've lived it. We've gone through the heartaches, but I do love talking football, and I think that's why me and you, for instance, get on well. And I do speak to some Evertonians and I do speak to some Liverpool fans, which you won't be happy with. But the thing is, I'm talking to football fans, and there is a difference. So when you make a comment or an opinion, right, it's there for discussion, not to be slagged down. But you and I, at the moment, until we meet in the cup final, we're friends.
It's funny you say there. You got some Liverpool mates. I'm the same. It's horrible, isn't it? You've just got to have them in your life. You've just got to have them, and they're just there.
Yeah.
But no, it's at Webby ONeill on the socials and the YouTube for any Man United fans who are wanting to go over, or any Evertonians who want to go over. Really great interview with Mark Goldbridge I watched last night, and I'm sure Tony.
It's an eye opener, that interview.
I see it. It was really good, really good. Really good, and then I'm sure you'll be on Sunday talking about the game on your channel as well. So all heads over there, any United fans, any Evertonians who are just noticing what we're about. We are at Across the Park PC on Twitter and Instagram, and as well as YouTube. Tony, again, sorry for keeping up so much of your time. I just love talking footy with you. It's always great.
Listen, I'd still be here for half an hour. Football, it's a never-ending conversation. So if you know anything about football, the conversation can go on, and that's our problem, Ian. We could just chat and chat and chat for hours, but hey, it has to end sometime.
Right the wrongs of the world. I'm probably not going to speak to you now until maybe into the new year. So I wish you and the family all the best for the Christmas and New Year.
And you, my mate. Same back.
Thank you very much. Tony ONeill from Webby ONeill, everybody. Man United versus Everton this Sunday. This has been the away fan preview with Tony's thoughts. You'll get my thoughts on the game on Monday. Tony, I've got to end it with, I'm sorry, up them toffees.